Ladies and gentlemen, Uniquely Unqualified Podcast Take Two, where we take an individual subject, bitch and complain about it for more easier, consumable content. Before we get into anything, please like and subscribe. As you've heard me say a dozen times or more before, even if you don't favor the content, subscribe anyway. We'll fall to the bottom of your algorithm, and the most you'll see of me is when I post up a new video. Is Benjamin Netanyahu dead? There was some videos that came out, a little bit of news from Israel. The Iranians did strike Netanyahu's house, that much is true. And then there was a lot of hands on deck, getting a body under a sheet into an ambulance from the residence. And then everything was kind of dark for days and days. And then we start seeing proof of life videos that are weird, to say the least. We'll know if he's dead if he brings his fucking dirty laundry into the U.S. and sits next to the President of the United States on U.S. media, and of course world media, the world stage. It's interesting to note that the BBC isn't reporting a hell of a lot about this, Al Jazeera isn't reporting a whole hell of a lot about this, and no one in America is reporting much about this. But Benjamin Netanyahu could very well have been hit in that strike against his residence. Otherwise, he would be, so the first video that he came out, blue backdrop between two Israel flags, and there's a whole bunch of crap about how it's AI. Look, he's got 6 fingers and whatever. I don't know anything about that. I got a pretty keen eye for AI videos. I do think that video was AI, but not because it was a proof of life video. I think that it was just to kind of start stirring shit up. That's what I think that one was. The other one that I think is absolutely AI, it's the coffee shop proof of life video that just came out, where he's got his hand in his pocket and he gets this coffee and he says, oh, you know, I have 5 fingers and I have 5 fingers on this hand too. Not AI. Meanwhile, regardless of the fact that the drink that he got is 50% foam on top, and foam when you tip the thing ain't gonna spill everywhere, but once you take a nice fat sip of the coffee, that foam level is definitely gonna go down. It doesn't go down, nothing spills. That's a really superficial thing. The other video that I saw was him at like a winery or something like that. Some nice outdoor, it looked kind of like a restaurant, not a park necessarily, but it looked like there was something of a gathering where you could get food. So you mean to tell me that you're launching rockets into Iran, hitting their nuclear facilities, hitting their space program building, pulling false flags around the region, launching rockets to Turkey? That wasn't Iran. That was fucking Netanyahu in Israel. This guy's a psychopath. He wants to obliterate that whole damn area. Yes, he does. Man, you guys think Hitler was bad? Netanyahu ain't too damn much different, except for he's the Jew doing the work. He hates Islam, and he doesn't want Islamic countries anywhere around his region. There is something called the Greater Israel Project, which basically means a full-on Hitlerian-style takeover of the Middle East and the Gulf countries. That's what that is. Anyway, so he's at a fucking winery. If I was a leader and people were saying like, oh, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead, I wouldn't come out with some weird videos that really do have that uncanny valley feeling to them. I wouldn't come out and say, oh, look, I only have 5 fingers, ha, ha, ha. I would go out in fucking public and say, yo, hey, I'm right here, we're good. We're good. Oh, it's too dangerous to go out in public. Well, then just be fucking seen with your cabinet, with something like be seen, be heard, take a phone call, something. You're going to get in a plane eventually and come over here to America. When's that going to happen? So we'll keep a closer eye on that. As the days go on, I think that we might see that Benjamin Netanyahu, I think he might be a bit of a goner. In which case, as I've said before, that wouldn't be bad, because the U.S. needs to stop dicking around with Israel and the Middle East. It is not all their fault, but they're like the little brother that's, squealing around school about, oh, Billy hit me. And the big brother said, and Billy never did shit, but the little brother is just this wheezy little fuck that just wants somebody to do something about Billy because he's a Weasley little fuck. And so the little brother goes over and says, big brother, and says, Billy hit me. And so big brother United States goes, the fuck, Billy? Uniquely Unqualified Podcast Take Two. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you.